What's up, my Fina loves? It's Miss Fina D, and you're watching Finatainment Unfiltered. I've been talking a lot about Big Brother Season 24, especially the winner, Taylor Hill. I've also been talking about Taylor and Joseph Jailer. So for those of you who are supporters of Big Brother and Taylor and Joseph, just go to the Jailer playlist on this channel to catch up on their videos. But I do watch other reality TV shows. I decided to mix it up a little bit. Let's talk about Love is Blind. If you are someone who have no clue what Love is Blind is, it's this show on Netflix where, singles come together and they meet each other in, different pods, and they're behind a wall and you can't really see what the other person looks like. You are getting to know them emotionally. You get to hear their voice, have conversations and all of that, but you don't physically get to see them. You go as far as proposing. Some people even fall in love before physically seeing what they look like. They propose, the other person, says yes. After the pod proposal, if the person says yes, then you get to see them. The door is open, you get to meet them, and you get to get down again on one knee and propose, okay? This is where things normally takes a turn. Yes, the emotional connection is great and all, but then sometimes people physically see the person and then it's like, you know what? They're not my type. They start to spend time together and either it leads to marriage or not. I want to get to the story. So for those of you who have no clue what Love is Blind is, I will explain more at the end. But let's get to the reason why we are here. Lauren from season 1, she's married to Cameron. They had a very successful and beautiful story from start to finish. Lauren is very transparent about, of course, our marriage is not perfect. This was a caption a little while ago. I can't believe we are approaching 4 years of marriage this fall. Wow, time flies. Marriage is hard. It requires willingness and work, an unselfish version of yourself that prioritizes partnership. It can be tough enough behind closed doors, let alone a very public relationship that comes with public opinions. Although things aren't always butterflies and sunshine all the time, there have been many a times when you were my light in darkness. Love you, Mr. Hamilton, for everything. Can we finally plan our reception now, LOL? So it looks like their marriage is going from strength to strength. Now let's get into the reason why we are here. She tweeted a few weeks ago, I don't like how Love is Blind be cutting all the black women. How come they are always in the trailer but not the show? I know it's slim pickings, but about 85% of them couples be forced, just moving forward for entertainment purposes. Anyway, y'all could at least force some more sisters to move forward throughout the show. So someone asked, I wonder what is it? Are they just not clicking enough with other participants? How do you think they choose what makes the final show? She responded, it's couples that get engaged that aren't even shown sometimes. I think they only show what they deem most entertaining. Before I get to Nick Lachey response, there's another couple that got married on her season who are still married, but since Lauren is the one tweeting and is having an issue with the show, that's the reason why I'm just focusing on Lauren. But there's another couple that's also, from what it looks like, they're doing well. They're still together. But let's get into what co-host Nick Lachey, he hosts with his wife, Vanessa Lachey. Let's get into his response. While speaking to Entertainment Tonight about the new season, he was asked about what Lauren tweeted, and he responded, it's a fair observation, but the counter argument to that is that it's not manipulated in the sense that the people gravitate to who they gravitate to. That's not something that producers or anyone else can detect or strip. People make connections in the pods for whatever reason, and those connections are then followed through to the rest of the season. I think that's all you can do in terms of being in the show and being in the casting department is casting fairly and with great diversity. I think that they've done a good job of trying to do that. How it plays out, I can't really answer to that part of it other than I know it's not dictated or manipulated. Who moves forward? It's really truly the connections they make blindly in the pods. I mean, I expected nothing less. Of course, Nick is going to defend the show. Absolutely. But I also like that he did not dismiss her feelings 100%. He said that's a fair assessment. Basically, I see and understand where she's coming from. But if Black women aren't making the connection to move forward to the next stage, what are we supposed to do? You are saying that we are putting people forward for entertainment purposes. If the Black women aren't making connections to that stage where we get to follow their journey, what exactly do you expect us or want us to do? For something? But I think what Lauren is saying is, even the process of a Black woman attempting to make a connection, and let's just say maybe she did not get a proposal, okay? It did not move to the next stage. Can we at least see the process? Can we at least see that they were trying, that they did go on dates? People did talk to them, but somewhere in the middle, things fell apart. Can we at least see something with more Black women compared to, okay, these are the couples that made it and that's it. So I thought I was done, okay? She tweeted, Nick Lachey responded, it's over, let's move on. But I decided, let's go back to Twitter one last time to see if there's any more updates. And I'm glad I did because they're still going. They are saying Lauren and some of the Love is Blind supporters who do not agree with her stance. So this person tweeted, why would we need to know more about them? They didn't make a connection in the pods. During editing, they want to show the ones who did make connections in the pods. It's literally following people from beginning. Lauren had this same moment now, okay? I'm not all the way agreeing with this person, but I also understand where they're coming from because Lauren had this same situation. She and her husband talked to other people, went on other dates, but because their story was so sweet and to the point, why are we going to mess up their journey by talking about other people and bringing other people in this? Let's just focus on the two of them and how they met and how everything just went smooth sailing. We do not need to include anyone to their story. And so that's what happened to her story. Another thing is when she said force the Black women through, she doesn't mean if they don't have no connection, force them through anyways. You know, she's just saying show their story. Let's see their story. So this person is basically saying, why waste airtime on couples that you know didn't go anywhere in the process when you could be investing that time in couples who are actually trying to take the experiment seriously and see where things could lead? So Lauren responded, you know what's funny about this? Shayna literally connected with no one on the show, yet she had an entire storyline. Matter of fact, she acted out, literally left after the reveal and was still featured all the way through to after the altar. So I applaud Lauren for taking the stance and what she's doing and saying is admirable, but let's explain the story the way it truly happened. The lady she mentioned did have two connections, but she had a stronger connection with a guy named Shane, okay? However, Shane chose somebody else. Now, there was a guy named Kyle that she was kind of into, but not more than Shane. So when Shane turned her down and chose somebody else, she then went back to Kyle, okay? They got engaged. They tried to make it work. And then she was just like, you know what? We have different beliefs. It's not going to work out. And she broke up with him. The person that Shane was engaged to kept bringing her up. Other people kept talking about her. So they made it about her. And Netflix was like, y'all not going to keep talking about this woman and she's not here to defend herself. So that's the reason why she was constantly included, because she was mentioned. But what Lauren is saying is, look, if you can clearly see because the producers are watching the show and doing the editing. The same way how you can do the editing and say these black women did not make real connections, and because of that, we are not going to show their journey. And do the same thing for the other people. She had two connections. One of them she really wanted. When he told her no, her journey should have ended there, because you knew the other person that she attempted to go with, you knew she was just doing it because the guy she really wanted did not choose her. So why then allow her to go through the whole process, give her more airtime when you knew where the story was going to end? It's the same thing with Jared and Ayana. Now, Jared is black, Ayana is black, but she's mixed, and she also celebrates her other side and heritage. So let's be respectful. So these two got married and they're now divorced. But on the show, he was really into Mallory and really wanted to propose to Mallory. Okay? But when Mallory shut him down, he then went with Ayana. She was the second choice. He did everything in his power to convince us that she wasn't. She did everything in her power to convince herself that she wasn't. They went through the entire process, got married and everything. Just for less than 2 years or 3 years later, they are now divorced. If you look at this picture for season 3, I see black women all over the place. But when you look at the end result, how many of them do you see in this picture at the finale of season 3? Exactly. So I understand what she's saying. Let's read her last tweet and then end it. She did make it clear that she didn't have no issues, just so people don't say, oh my goodness, there you go, mentioning her name and bringing her up. So she was just like, look, I'm just using her because she's basically the best example I can use. Lastly, we do see this on a lot of shows. I mean, The Bachelor, The Bachelorette was like this for a long time until Rachel Lindsay became the first black bachelorette. And then you had 2 black bachelorettes after her. The Bachelor been on for years, and so far you've only had 1 black lead bachelor, Matt James. Before Rachel Lindsay, they would have about, let's just say 1, 2, or not even any black women, but 1 or 2 black women. And you go on the left, you go on the right, and let's make it look like we have more black women. Or they might have 3 and put 1 on the left, on the far left, 1 on the far right, and 1 in the middle to mix it up and make it look that way. So I completely understand and see where Lauren is coming from. She's not saying black people and black couples and black women don't make it to the next round. She's just saying the same way how we can see other race making it far. She wants to see the same thing happen for black women, more black women. And Netflix is saying, well, if they were making the connection, they will, because you're calling out Shayna, who accepted a proposal from her second choice, but Jared did the same thing. She was his second choice, and Netflix allowed them to go all the way through to the point where they got married, and then now they're divorced. Either way, kudos to Lauren for speaking up, and hopefully things will change. The last season, the most recent one, did have a mixture of people, but if you read her tweets, she wrote black women. The only thing that's going to end up happening is, let's just say the following season, a few black women genuinely had connections like Lauren did. Then the public is going to say, is it real? Or is it because Lauren complained and that's why now we're seeing black women? Overall, Lauren, kudos to you for speaking up. I'm wishing all of you well and take care. Now, loves, thank you all for your love and support. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and leave this video a thumbs up. Also, turn on notifications so when I do post, you're aware that I posted. And I will see you all in the comment section. Remember to always have the God bless attitude, which is being positive at all times and seeing the good in every situation. Have a great day, guys. God bless.